Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. That was a brief teaser from Challenger Soaring with Christa McAuliffe. And now I'm gonna take some questions from the audience. I will take a moment just to get this little device going here so I can see what you wanna ask me. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to ask a question of me, Christa McAuliffe. So please do frame your questions to me, and I will answer them truthfully and as best that I can. If you want to ask me any questions about the space program and the space training that I went through, I would love to also answer those questions for you. So let's see what we've got here. All right. Okay, so this is from John Zenko. Hi, John. How are you doing? Other than, let's see. I want to get these comments up. Other than teaching, did I have any other career aspirations? I always wanted to be an administrator. I was actually got my master's degree from Bowie State College to be an administrator, and I applied for an administrative position at Concord High School. But the principal of Concord High School, his name is Mr. Foley, he said that Concord High School was not yet ready for a female administrator. So maybe someday I hope to be in administration. I'd love to be a superintendent. That would really be one of my top goals and my top dreams. But otherwise, yes, I've always wanted to be involved in all aspects of the community. I volunteer regularly. I play volleyball. I play club sports. I'm always out and about doing things. So for me, teaching is a passion that I love, but it's not the only thing that I love. I'm part of many different social clubs, and I'm always looking for opportunities to help people. When I was a Girl Scout, when I was young, I was always learning how to better help people, how to help people who were younger than me, how to help people who were less fortunate and a little bit more needy. We always helped the younger scouts, and we always, arranged the events for the rest of the community. So I've always loved to help people. I never felt good about myself unless I was giving. So Kathy says, hi, Kathy. How long after the application did the training for the space program begin? So I postmarked the application on February 1st, 1985. It was the day that it has to be postmarked. I do have to admit, I am a bit of a procrastinator, but I always get it done. I always get it done. And from that point on, it wasn't until June. On June 21st, actually, I flew out to Washington, D.C. I had 6 days in Washington, D.C., where I actually met the President of the United States of America, Ronald Reagan, of course, and I also met the commander who was going to be in charge of the Challenger flight. His name is Commander Scobie, and pilot Mike Smith as well. So during those 6 days, I had time to sort of learn about the dangers and the demands of the space program. We learned about the extent of what the training would be. Essentially, we would be really invested in the program for a year. It would be a launch occurring in January, and this was sort of June of 1985 that we were we were in Washington, D.C., and it was July that we found out that I've been selected. So I will be. I was able to. Really, I don't know how it was possible, because there were nearly 12,000 applicants for the space program, and somehow I was chosen, and I'm honored, and I'm really going to bring all of my friends up into that space shuttle with me. It's going to be an absolutely wonderful experience. I'm just so excited. I think my adrenaline's going to be pumping when those solid rocket boosters are going off beneath me. So, but after the shuttle mission, which is going to be in January, it's going to be a 6-day mission. We're going to learn a lot about how we can live and work on board the space station. NASA, is going to launch our very first reusable, or sort of our very first space station, I should say, in 1992. We plan to have it up there, and it's going to be the size of a football field. And so we need to learn how to work in that space station, we need to learn how to live. So we're going to work with hydroponics, which means we're going to grow plants and liquid solutions. We're going to do a lot of different experiments when we're on board the Challenger shuttle for the 51L mission, which is what I'm a part of. I'm a payload specialist on that mission. And then we're also going to launch a free-floating laboratory so that we can observe Halley's Comet. We're going to learn more about Halley's Comet in 6 days than we've known for an entire civilization. And we're also going to deploy a satellite for communication, because right now Mission Control can only communicate with an orbiting shuttle for 11 hours a day. But once we launch this satellite, it's going to be more like 22 hours for the day. And I think that's so neat. So let's see. I already answered that one. How long did it take from mailing the application for me to learn that I had been accepted? So I mailed the application on February 1st, 1985, and I was in the White House with the other 9 finalists, and we were given we were told who the winner was. It was July 19th. And so from that point on, I went to Houston to Johnson Space Center, and I started training with Barbara Morgan, who was my backup. Everything that I do, Barbara also has to do as well. So it's if she wasn't with me, I don't know what I would do. I would just be overwhelmed. It's so neat to be able to go back at the end of the day and just, basically talk to Barbara, because it's nice to have another educator, another teacher who's going through the same thing. So yeah, we're training from July, and then our shuttle is slated to launch in January for 1986. So let's see. This is from, what was the training like to go on the Challenger shuttle? Oh my gosh, have you been in a personal rescue sphere? That was one of my favorite things to do. So a personal rescue sphere is a bubble. It's a very small sphere which you are put inside, because if something goes wrong on the Challenger shuttle, we do have a few suits that people can wear, but not everyone. We don't have enough suits for everyone. And so what happens is some of us would be deployed if we needed to emergency evacuate. We would be employed in an emergency rescue sphere, which is a bubble where you sort of have to cross your legs. And I might be able to show you a picture of it, actually. It's a good question. If you just bear with me for one moment, I'm going to show you what a personal rescue sphere looks like. We were having a little bit of technical difficulties today with our device. These are very futuristic computers. Let's see what we've got here. So I'm going to show you. Here it is. It's really best if you can see it. So this is a personal rescue sphere, and they stuck me in that personal rescue sphere, and then they turned off all the lights, and I don't know how long I was in there, but all I did was sing Carly Simon songs, because she always relaxes me. And I also got to fly on board the T-38. This is me getting out of the T-38. Commander Scobie even let me take the stick and fly. It was wonderful. It was so neat. You feel 3.5 times the force of the Earth's gravity on your body. And one of my teachers actually, one of my students, asked me, what does that feel like? And how many of you, I want to ask you, how many of you have seen The Wizard of Oz? Right? Yes, all of you, of course, except for maybe the little youngsters. What happens to the Wicked Witch of the West at the end of The Wizard of Oz? I'm going to look for it in the comments. What happens to the Wicked Witch of the West at the end of Wizard of Oz? Somebody tell me. I know. I want to give you credit. Nobody's got the guts to say. Oh, you need to watch it again. She melts. She melts. That's what it feels like to be on board the T-35. It feels like you're melting. And I got to fly on board the KC-135. So the KC-135 is actually a hollowed out airplane. And what the pilot does is they do 30 to 40 parabolas. A parabola is a curve, basically a curve that goes up and down like this very, very quickly. And that allows us to feel near weightlessness on our bodies. And so NASA likes to call the KC-35 the weightless wonder. Do you know what we call the KC-135? The vomit comet. And I was just trying to keep my lunch down when I was training on board the KC-135, because I've always had motion sickness. And suddenly Barbara Morgan, my backup, she starts whispering in my ear, hey, let's do leapfrogs. And the next thing you know, we're doing leapfrogs in the KC-135, which is probably the first time that anyone had ever done leapfrogs in a zero gravity environment. And all these NASA guys were looking at us going, I don't think they should be doing that. And we didn't care. We were like Peter Pan. We were just having the time of our lives. It was so much fun. All right, let's see what other questions we have. Let's see. The house falls on, so Penny Harrington, the house falls on the Wicked Witch of the East. That's at the beginning of the film, and the Wicked Witch of the West is at the end of the film. But thank you for contributing. You get extra credit. Let's see. She melts, John. Thank you. She melts. Very good. Melting from Andrea Adams. Laura Mendez. She melts. All of you, you get bonus points in your next project. Okay, so make sure you hand it in on time so I don't have to demerit you. Okay. What was the most difficult thing I did to get ready to leave? Leaving my family. I had to move to Houston, and I was at the Johnson Space Center, and my husband is not much of a cook, and so I gave him lots of frozen dinners, and he would subsist off of cereal if he had to for the rest of his life. And I have a daughter, Caroline is 6, and my son Scott is going to be 9, and so it's been tough because I'm my family is everything. But we both said that if either one of us got a chance, Steve and I both said if either one of us ever got a chance to go into space, that we would do it. So haha, Steve, I got the chance. So let's see. What year did I start my teaching career? It was 1972 in Landland, Maryland. So I started in the early 70s. Let's see. Did I take a leave of absence from my teaching job? NASA actually paid Concord High School. They're going to pay them while I'm away. So they're basically paying them for another teacher to take my place, so for a substitute teacher. And they're also paying my salary, what I would make if I were teaching at Concord High School. So essentially, yes, they're paying us. Yes. Oh, I'm really close to the camera right now. I'm sorry. All right, so let's see what else. We've only got a couple of minutes left. So how long, I already got that one. How long did I train for the mission? So from July through January, it was 7 months or so. And are there other questions? Okay, so I'm going to take this moment. Do I remember my essay questions? I can actually put my essay questions up for you to read later on. I do remember them. They were about community involvement, and it was also related to what I would do for my project. So they wanted us to have a project when we were up in space, and so I decided that my project would be keeping a journal because I had kept a journal at Framingham State College, and then I had instructed my students to keep a journal. Have any of you kept journals growing up and then looked back on them later on in your life? It's wonderful. It is just so enlightening. You learn even more about yourself from reading these journals from your past. It's really inspiring. So I thought, if I can keep a journal about what I'm seeing, and then we can publish that journal, what I'm experiencing, then I can basically take you all on the ultimate field trip. So I'm looking forward to it. So I'm in the last couple of minutes, I'm just going to take a moment to introduce my alter ego. My name is Judith Kalaora. I am the artistic director of History at Play. Thank you very much for joining me. Folks, this is an opportunity for you to ask questions about some of the other women that we portray in the History at Play repertoire. It also lets you know a little bit about, you can ask about the research, what I did in order to prepare for this role. I did write this program myself, as I did all of the other scripts that are currently in the History at Play repertoire. So what questions do you have for me, Judith? So I'm just going to address Judith's question. There's another Judith watching. There were about 11,000 applicants that actually completed the application, and then there were 10 finalists, and then Christa was chosen from those 11,000. Any questions for me? I'm looking at YouTube Live to see if anyone's asking any questions there. So I'll just tell you a little bit about what we do. History at Play was an immersive living history company that came to you. We provided immersive theater programs and interactive educational programs for audiences of all ages. Due to the COVID-19 crisis, we've become a live stream educational entertainment company. We've rebranded to continue to provide these programs to you. Wednesday nights, our programs are offered to you free of charge. Friday evenings, we have pay per HAP. So if you'd like to see the full-length version of this performance, the full-length version of this performance will actually be next Friday. And this Friday's pay per HAP is Rendezvous with Rachel Revere. So essentially, you vote for the person that you want to see on Wednesday evening's HAP and Chat. And then we actually will do that. The majority winner, the majority person who gets the most votes will portray her, a little brief segment of the story. And then the following week, we'll do the whole performance live, pay per HAP. So you can join the pay per HAP group through the History at Play Facebook group. It's $5 to $25. Pay what you can per viewer. We have lost our entire income because of the COVID-19 crisis. I got more cancellations today, and my heart breaks every single time I read an email saying that I can't perform in person for all of you. So I'm really hopeful that we will be able to stay strong, and I really appreciate everything that my supporters and my friends have done thus far to contribute, and please do continue to support Living History, because we are finding ways to bring these women to life so that women and men of the future can continue to be inspired by these people who inspired us. I know everyone who was alive remembers where they were when the Challenger shuttle launched. It is a phenomenon just like we are experiencing a worldwide phenomenon right now. We will all know where we were and what we were doing during COVID-19, and we'll tell those things to our children and our grandchildren, just like we explain where we were when the Challenger shuttle launched. So don't forget that these are international phenomenon that we are experiencing right now. We are making history, and I really do hope that you can tune in on Friday. We close our box office at 1:30 p.m. Eastern time, so please make sure you contribute by that time, and we'll grant you entry to the pay per HAP Facebook group. That's a 7:30 p.m. Eastern time performance. I'm gonna put some music back on from the local band Zoe Knight and Mythical Beast. They just released a brand new album called The Good. It's a phenomenal album, and Zoe is one of the most talented performers that I've ever had the pleasure to work with. So please do go to, you're gonna see the website, go to mythicalbeastband.com, buy their album, and please do support History at Play so we can continue to bring these programs to you in spite of the fact that I can't see your beautiful faces. I still feel you with me. So thank you very much, and I'll see you on Friday evening and next Wednesday's HAP and Chat. Please don't forget to vote. We do have a winner for this week's HAP and Chat. Ding! And that winner is Jerry Haas. Jerry, you have won. Jerry's been wonderful, and he gets a couple of actually really cool patches from the NASA Space Camp in Huntsville, Alabama, this cool space shuttle patch, and also, of course, a signed headshot of yours truly, and a wonderful History at Play sticker. So Jerry, direct message me your mailing address, please, so I can send that out to you, okay? Thank you so very much, everyone. I hope you have a wonderful evening, and please promise me that you will make history, okay? I love you all. Have a good evening. Bye-bye.